Welcome everyone to People on Dating. I'm your host, Will Morales. And for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, this is a topic-based conversation podcast about the ups and downs of dating. Whether you're 18 or 80, you have a story to tell. And the gist of this podcast is just a conversation, no judgment. Today's show, I had read an article, which I'll put up on the show notes, why single men are on the rise. And it seems that certain women between the ages of 25 to 30, 25 to 45 seem to prefer men who are emotionally available, have good communication, and share values with what women want. Right now, unfortunately, there are not many men out there like that, especially now. And because of social media, I believe that it's it's less because of texting. And I talk about the communication parts from men and some women. It seems that nobody wants to talk on the phone anymore or do a video call. Everything seems to be texting, and that's so impersonal because you don't get to know a person that way without some type of interaction. I mean, if you don't want to meet in person, how about a Zoom call? At least you can see their expression, you can hear their tone of voice, you can see their body language. But I think with social media, it's ruining a lot of people's ability to communicate verbally and at least facially. So that's what I think. So, and it seems that most of these young men don't have the skills yet. I know for me, when I was in my 20s, I kept a lot of things to myself, even when I was dating. Being a good communicator, you have to express yourself. You got to talk about things, talk about, some things that are right and wrong, whatever that may be. But I didn't have those skills yet. So, so I think with at least communication, I think some of these men are missing out. Especially they don't even have maybe their goals yet. Being emotionally available, again, it doesn't seem like we don't have that at that early age. Some of us anyway. I shouldn't say all men. So another thing is, and the age ranges of these women, 25 to 45, what I've seen and heard are they're looking for men who make six figures. And the biggest thing is they have to have status. I've seen, I've read where some women, when it comes to the status parts, they want a man that could be an executive compared to a plumber, or maybe an entertainer compared to a someone that works as a technician in a hospital, and they can make that money, whether it's overtime or they have the degree to back it up. You know, they have to have their own place, cars, whatever it may be. But my God, between at that young age, that's almost, I'm not saying it's impossible, but usually the people that have that type of cash and status are entertainers, sports figures. If you're lucky, you inherited money, or you were born into a family business. So I think that could be a little unreasonable, especially at that young age, 25, 26, 27. Statistics say that most men don't reach their peak until I talk about financial peak, till maybe their late 30s, 40s, mid 40s. Unless you're a woman and you want to date that, someone that's almost 10, 15, 20 years older than you, then I think that might be the best place to look, is for men that have that status already, and they're that much older. And most men, again, do not reach that status. I'm repeating it again, to their late 30s, early 40s. And 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 the singles, for single women, that have the status. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. For single women that are looking for that type of status, most of these men are in high demand anyway. They're in. You might see them in the clubs, or you might see them in on social media, wherever, YouTube. But most of these guys are in high demand. A lot of these guys can pick and choose the women that they want because they have that status, they have the money, they have everything that some of these women want. And if you're a woman, I hate to say it, but if you're a woman that has a kid or something like that, some of these guys are gonna go for someone that's just as young as you, just as beautiful as you, but they're motherless, unfortunately. So you got to think about that, ladies, especially if you're that young. I mean, 45, you're up there, you're already established as a woman. But if you're between 25 to 28, 29, 30, and you're trying to try to get one of these entertainers, one of these sports figures, it's possible that you're going to compete with a bunch of women that are just as pretty as you are, if not prettier. So to me, ladies, just think about that, like some of the demands that you're asking for some of these guys, especially when you're that age. Again, the age range is 25 to 45. Most men, or some men, let me rephrase that, are not ready to to communicate. They don't have the status, and they don't have the values yet. They're getting, as they get older. Everything gets established as you get older, as you become wiser, as you hang out with the right people, you find your right mentors, you read the right books. So, I think you might have to have patience, ladies, or again, go after the entertainers, the sports figures who have that money, have people backing them up, have people telling them, what to say, what not to say, how to behave. They have the senior people, senior team members on their team to talk about that, to help them out. Most men, I know I didn't have that when I was between 25 to 45. I didn't have any much mentors and all that. That came later in life. But again, I'll definitely put the article on the show notes. I just think for us guys, especially when you're that age, you have to go through a lot of stuff in terms of your attitude, your character, what's in your heart, what's in your soul. What are you looking to do when you get much older? What's the goals that you have? And a lot of men, screw it, I'll say a lot of men don't have that yet, especially when they're that young. They want to hang out, they want to meet women. They haven't established themselves yet. So for some women, I just think you got to have patience. If not, again, like I said, there are entertainers and there's sports figures that you could probably go after. Anyway, guys, that's all I wanted to say about this topic. To me, it's a topic that's a hot button issue because I think this day and age, a lot of women are making their own money, whether it's through OnlyFans or they're smart enough to have their own business, and they're looking for a partner that has the same qualities, at least financially. And some men don't have that yet, So again, women, for you, you have to pick and choose, and where are you going to find these men? Now, there might be at networking events, they might be at business events. You could probably meet them there. Again, I think it's a hot button issue. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening. My name is Will Morales. This is People on Dating. You can find me on Apple Podcasts, you can find me on Google Podcasts, and you can find me on Spotify. When you go to Apple Podcasts, please subscribe, leave a review, share, like. Please tell me what kind of show you want me to do, any guests you want me to try to get. And anyway, until next time, I'm Will Morales. This is People on Dating. Have a great day, everyone, and please stay safe. Bye.